Hi, everybody. We're just checking in because we're doing our webinar today and we've got the lovely Carola Becker. Sorry, I keep tripping over that name, but we're going to pass straight over to do some really useful tips about supporting your energy levels. Carola is a nutrition coach, so I think it's probably something as we run up to Christmas that's really important for all of us. Julie is going to be recording the session, so it will be available online after. So if anybody's got any questions and they want to put them in the chat or just come off mute, then that'd be great. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Leanne. Thank you very much for inviting me today. I'm really super excited to be here and to share my 4 best strategies, which can really have an impact on your energy levels. I said it before, please, if there's any questions you have, please just unmute yourself and ask away, because there's really no need for me to talk at you for 30 minutes. But I'll quickly start by introducing myself, because it was super exciting to be part of the PPMA conference earlier this year. And I'm really, well, I quite like giving those talks, and standing here and creating this session for you was really exciting. So as you just said, Leanne, thank you. I am indeed a nutritionist. I'm a fitness instructor. And I run a workplace well-being advisory. So that means I work with organizations, with individuals, and to help them to make small but meaningful changes to the way they eat and the way they live. I mention always in my presentations that I absolutely love coffee. So you don't think that I'm sitting here with my halo and just telling you, oh, you never eat chocolate again and you shouldn't really drink coffee and those sorts of things. Nah. It's all about making it a beautiful lifestyle for yourselves. In 2020, when I was panicking like everybody else did, I thought, oh my God, I haven't got anything to do. So why not run a study? So in, I don't know, within 24 hours, I had quite a lot of people from all over the world signing up to help me with a study about the impact of nutrition and mental health on brain performance. And I was really excited to run this study, and I'll still use it in my work with organizations. Right, so enough about me. It's all about your energy levels today. I fully understand that there are sometimes situations where the circumstances just simply seem to be overwhelming and you feel that you can't really control your well-being. But today I'd like to share with you scientifically proven steps that you can take that make a real difference. So why are we looking into nutrition and lifestyle in the first place? Well, basically your body and your brain run on good fuels. In the same way you fill up your car with the right fuel, you maintain and you look after it. We all should support our bodies. Vitamins, minerals, activity, and rest, they all play a role in our energy balance in the end. And I think we should start with the fuels. Let's just look at nutrition. Let's start with carbohydrates, because most of us have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with carbs. We love them because they are convenient and they're yummy. When I found this image about those croissants, that is just brilliant. But at the same time, we have been told for years that carbs are bad for us and they make us gain weight and all of these things. But let's look at them from an energy perspective. Your energy levels are very closely linked to your blood sugar levels. And your blood sugar levels are affected by the carbohydrates you eat. It's important to know that carbs are your main source of energy. You need carbohydrates to run for the bus, you play with your children, or finish an important report for work, because your brain runs on carbohydrates as well. So what happens in your body? If you eat foods that contain carbohydrates, and that can be anything from a piece of toast, one of those beautiful croissants there, a few Haribos, but also an apple or some broccoli, they all contain carbohydrates. Your body breaks those carbs down into sugar And that enters your bloodstream and provides the energy you need to do all of those beautiful things you do in your life. And in order to release or store this energy, our body produces insulin. And this is where the quality of your carbohydrates comes in. On the one hand, we have the fast releasing carbohydrates. That's things like everything which contains sugar. This could be a fizzy drink, baked goods, white rice or pasta, for example, but also fruit juice. And those fast releasing carbohydrates, they increase your blood sugar levels very quickly in a very short pace of time. Slow releasing carbohydrates, on the other hand, they will be metabolized slower and help your energy levels remain elevated, but without those peaks and troughs. So looking at the slow releasing carbohydrates, those would be whole fruit in comparison to fruit juice, for example. Fruit juice enters your system very quickly, whilst a whole fruit, it takes a longer time to chew it. We're looking at all vegetables, oats and pulses like lentils and chickpeas, and also whole grains. So 2 strategies for good energy is reducing the sugar and increasing the fiber in your diet. So, of course, like I said, your brain runs on glucose, which is basically sugar. But before we wander over to the biscuit tin, quick explanation about that. Your brain benefits from a constant flow of energy. This is what those slow releasing carbohydrates provide. So this is where we're looking at fruit and vegetables in their whole form, whole grains, oats, and also pulses. Any questions so far about which carbohydrates to choose? Okay, so when we're looking at reducing your sugar intake and increasing your fiber, it means that it will definitely help your energy levels, but it also helps you concentrating for longer. And it protects you from this 3 o'clock slump where we're always looking for anything sugary just to keep us going through the afternoon. If you need more reasons to eat more fiber, fiber can lower your cholesterol levels, and it also decreases your risk of developing cardiovascular disease. So perfect news to eat more fiber. So, and because it's 12:15, I really make you hungry now. I've got a lot of ideas how you can increase your fiber in your diet. Here are a couple of ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So let's start with an old-fashioned homemade porridge with fresh or stewed fruit instead of sugar. You can try a grated apple. At the moment, it's September, it's apple time. A few frozen berries if you have some, or some stewed plums. Whatever fruit you have left in your fruit bowl, which is no longer really that nice to eat, stew it, put it in a little tub in the freezer or in the fridge. It will last and you can add it to your porridge. Be careful with any cereals or granola. They're almost always very, very high in sugar. If you had a bit more time for breakfast, prepare scrambled or poached eggs, maybe an avocado smashed on some whole grain toast, or even an omelette. For lunch, a whole grain pita is better than some white toast. And if you add a healthy filling of fresh hummus, maybe some roasted peppers, or they could be fresh peppers as well, soup or salad would also be a really good idea. If you fancy a snack high in fiber, a piece of fruit like a banana with some yogurt, or an apple with some peanut butter. A really nice idea. Dinner options are literally endless. Lean meat or fish with any vegetables you like. Add a small portion of brown rice to it, just to give you this lasting energy. And you can make your minced beef, even go further, your chili, add some lentils. This is additional fiber, additional plant protein, and it also helps with the costs because lentils are super cheap. Any meal ideas from you ladies? Anything you do where you think that's a really good one for your energy levels?
I think the easy ones are always good. I think I do those overnight oats for
Oh, yes.
breakfast with the yogurt and the fruit in, and that does keep me going, because if I have cereal in the morning, I'm hungry again by 9:30.
I
So
agree
yeah,
with you. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, overnight oats is a really nice one because they're literally made in about 2 minutes. Go in the fridge. The next morning, you just grab them and go and can have them whenever you're hungry. Sounds great. Okay, so that was strategy number one, a little bit less sugar and more fiber in your diet. If you are like me, you probably like the next one. Coffee. Yippee! There she is talking about coffee again. I really like the sound of that. But there is a but, and you can see this on this slide. Caffeine does increase your alertness. That is so much, it's absolutely clear. So having a cup of coffee can really help you sharpen your mind if you need a specific task at work done. But to get the energizing effect of coffee, you have to use it carefully. So don't drink more than 2 to 3 cups per day. Your body gets used to caffeine, and the more you drink, the less effect you will see, which is a real shame in my world. And also, caffeine can remain in your system for up to 8 hours. So that means it can disrupt your sleep. So if you have trouble sleeping for whatever reason, I would recommend stop drinking caffeinated drinks after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can simply go for decaffeinated versions later in the day. That goes for tea as well as for coffee, of course, but also for things like green tea, because green tea contains caffeine. Not a lot, not as much as tea and coffee, but depending on how sensitive you are to caffeine, green tea can also affect you. And at the same time, we obviously need to talk about hydration, because water is absolutely crucial for our energy levels. If your body is short on fluids, one of the first signs is a feeling of fatigue. Almost all of my clients do not drink enough. This is one of those topics I'll never tire of talking about. Hydration is super important. Remind yourself to drink more and create habits around your fluid intake. You can have a bottle of water on your desk or somewhere in your house where you just walk past every now and then. Depending on your activity levels, you should drink between 1 and 2 liters of water every day. Decaf tea and coffee counts, as well as caffeinated drinks. They count towards your fluid intake, but because they're dehydrating you at the same time a little bit, so you simply need to top them up with some more water. If you don't like plain water, you can add a little bit of lemon juice for added flavor, or just a piece of fruit, whatever you fancy. And also, you can eat your water. Cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, soups, they provide a lot of water at the same time you're eating something. So if you're not a massive fan of water, there's still lots of ideas how you can get your hydration levels up. Last but not least, we're looking at the nutrients that really play a role in your energy levels. They are here. We're looking at vitamin B12, magnesium, and iron. I have to move to that one. Now you can see it. It says iron. On the right-hand side of this slide, you can see the most important foods that containing those 3 nutrients. If you want to, please feel free to take a screenshot, something to pin on your fridge, just to remind yourself where those important nutrients are coming from. First of all, vitamin B12. It's necessary for cells to produce energy in the first place. Vitamin B12 is responsible for forming red blood cells. They transport oxygen throughout the body, and that helps with the energy production. B12 also plays an important role in brain function. According to studies, a lack of B12 in your diet increases the risk of fatigue or weakness. You may have heard that vegetarians and vegans are likely to be a little bit low on B12, since it can only be found in animal products like fish, meat, eggs, and dairy. You can get a little bit B12 from fortified foods like plant milks, for example, but it may not be enough for your body. Older adults and also people with digestive disorders like IBS, for example, they're also at risk of a deficiency of B12 because they are less capable of absorbing the B12 they consume. If you can, include meat, fish, eggs, and dairy into your diet to ensure an adequate intake. If you are vegetarian or vegan or don't want to eat those foods, you may want to consider a supplement. Magnesium is the second one on my list. Magnesium promotes better sleep. You can think about it as the relaxation mineral. That sounds nice, doesn't it? It helps your muscles. You may have heard about it when you have a cramp. Additional magnesium is helpful. But it's also one of the most abundant minerals in the body. It's required for more than 300 different reactions, including muscle and nerve function, blood glucose control, and also, as you would expect, energy production. It was a really interesting study. It's from 2012 already, but it has been shown that magnesium can improve symptoms of insomnia. So if you're not sleeping well for whatever reason, if you have some foods that are high in magnesium in the evening, it can help your body calm down and sleep better. You can find magnesium in almonds and in cashew nuts. They make a really, really nice snack. Avocados are great, lovely in a salad, but also chickpeas and spinach. They make great curries and a sandwich filling, if you like. Also, if you add some pumpkin or flax seeds to your porridge, you've got an additional little bit of magnesium, so you're really topped up during the day. Last but not least, we have iron. Iron really supports our cell function. It's an essential mineral that, again, helps oxygen circulate around the body. And it's necessary for the development of cells. An iron deficiency, you may have heard about it, is the primary cause of anemia. And it can impact cognitive abilities, but also decrease immunity and negatively impact performance. Our brain performance suffers. Meat and seafood are excellent sources of dietary iron. If you are vegetarian, nuts, beans, lentils, and spinach will be some of your go-to foods for iron. Your body would really appreciate it if you add a little bit of vitamin C at the same time you're eating a food which is high in iron, because it really helps the absorption of the vitamin C. Sorry, the absorption of the iron. And that one was about the nutrients. But there's more. I've got 5 minutes. Okay, let's talk about your lifestyle, because your lifestyle counts too. Move your body. Clearly, one of the most effective ways to support your energy when it comes to energy boosters, exercise is an old favorite. It increases your endorphins, that's one of your happy hormones, and studies suggest that 10 or 20 minutes per day is more than enough to make you feel better. And exercising can be anything from going for a run, a gym session, or playing with the children. It doesn't really matter. It depends very much on your starting point. Don't go overboard, because then you will be too tired afterwards. But whatever you do at the moment, just do a little bit more. Little things like standing up when you're having a phone call, or if you're back in the office, use the printer on the second floor and run upstairs and get your paper out of the printer. It's all about getting a little bit more activity into your body. Plus, exercise promotes the growth of those parts of the brain that really help you deal with stress. So it's a really good stress buster as well. Oh, she says it Alcohol, yes, I know. Nobody wants to hear that. But sadly, alcohol makes you feel drowsy, it makes you feel tired, and it raises the level of the stress hormone epinephrine, which is not what we need when we want to achieve better energy. It makes you feel even more stress, and it plays havoc with your energy levels. It's really not great. I know alcohol is yummy. For some people, they really like it. But when it comes to your energy, plan it around those times when you need to be on top of your game. Okay, I continue quickly with something else. Not talk too much about alcohol. Don't forget to rest. Relaxation and recovery is crucial to really recharge your batteries. And don't just slump in front of the TV. Turn your phone off, or at least your social media notifications. Try a meditation. There's loads of free apps available. And take some time for yourself. A few minutes every day will do. I know we're all busy. There's a social life, there's work to do, everything else. But just 5 minutes for yourself where you just look out of the window, relax, calm down, and then you get a little bit more energy to get on with your day. Don't skimp on sleep. Sleep is absolutely critical for your recovery. I think sleep is probably the only thing the internet agrees on. Those 7 to 8 hours we always read about, that is actually true. And if you're telling me you are one of those 5 people in the world who can get away with 3 or 4 hours of sleep, I don't believe you. Because it's just not working. We need a decent amount of sleep. How do you know that you don't sleep enough? If you sleep a lot longer at the weekends, that's a first sign that you don't sleep enough during the week. You can't top up on sleep. Your body will eventually tell you, okay, fine, we need to sleep more. So you need to make sure that you're sleeping enough from Monday to Friday, not trying to catch up at the weekends. And of course, reading and keeping your mind active is a really good way to support your relaxation, to support your recovery. Get out into nature, whatever it is for you. There's lots and lots of ideas how your recovery can look like. Let's have a quick recap. I've only got 3 minutes, but we can certainly keep this going. So here's your list of little rituals you can start to create a really more energetic lifestyle. Start with your foods. Get your B12, get your magnesium, get your iron regularly. Green leafy vegetables, almonds, cashew nuts, lean meat, fish, and all the vegetables you can think of. Be active, whatever that means for you. Everything counts as long as it challenges you ever so slightly. Walking, yoga, a class in the gym, doesn't matter. Whatever you do, do a little bit more. Recover. Try to find those little pockets of time every day and be with yourself. Meditate or read a book, spend time in nature, spend time with the children, take the children out for a day. Find what works for you and do it. And last but not least, create habits around this. Maybe with a reminder in your calendar. Here are my 5 minutes to calm down and do some breathing and really be in the moment. Place a bottle of water on your desk and have a sip every time you put your phone down. Set your alarm 10 minutes earlier in the morning and meditate before everybody in the house wakes up. Make your lunchtime walk a little bit more mindful. Leave the phone at home and just feel your feet on the ground, the air in your lungs, the colors of the season at the moment. Best time of the year to go for a nice walk. And here's a little bit of an invitation. Out of all of these things I rattled through in those 30 minutes, sorry, it was quite a lot, I admit that, but you can revisit it if you want to. Find 3 or 5 ideas out of all of that stuff and see what happens. And I promise, yes, I know nutrition and lifestyle doesn't work like a paracetamol. It's not bang, and then you have loads of energy. But over time, things will change and you're feeling good about it. Thank you so much for today. That was it from me. If you would like to talk about more about how I create programs for well-being for organizations, please feel free to get in touch. It would be lovely to see you soon. My email address, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or follow me on LinkedIn if you like. Oh, look at this, 12:30.
Well done, Carola. I think that there's some of that's real common sense, and we know that we should do it, but it's a really good reminder to do that. I think the thing that stood out for me there is around sleep. I hadn't really appreciated the magnesium connection with sleep, and actually a lot of other things fall into place when we get better sleep. So our anxiety levels and our energy levels all change, don't they, when we get enough
Absolutely.
sleep? So loads of
Yes.
stuff in there to just do some really simple things, and the habits, making it a habit is really important.
Indeed, yes. I mean, it's not supposed to happen immediately. It can't, because some of these things you haven't tried before, and you just need a little bit of time to adjust to them. But it's one step at a time. The last thing I want is to create any more stress for people. It's just an invite. Just try something and see what happens. And I promise there's a lot that can happen.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much for sharing it with us today. And I think that there's it'll be one of the videos that probably gets a little bit of as we ramp up to Christmas, people start thinking about can I shave a few pounds off before I get there and things. So I think just like really important to focus on your well-being. That putting the oxygen mask on concept is really
Exactly.
important. So thank you
Yes,
very
I
much.
agree. Thank you for having me. It was lovely to see you. Thank you.
Take care.